All right, so for the pressure meter now, we're going to transition into some players, and I want to start with the former number 1 overall pick, Zaccharie Risachier.
I think it's low, man. I don't think any of us really anticipate Zachary Risacher being a superstar or like in the conversation with the best first overall picks. But he is still just 20 years old, and I think that some team is 100% going to want him if that's not Atlanta, and he can still and probably will still have a 10 to 15-year career as a good starter / role player guy. So, I mean, there's inherent pressure from being the first overall pick, but we all knew that draft wasn't producing LeBron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was a little bit higher too early going into the season because of the expectations of the Hawks. And I was one of the people that knew that they were going to probably have to lean on them if they were going to be one of these top 3 seeds, top 4 seeds, because at his best, he is a very good, rotational wing. But since they're not really doing anything, I'm not really too high on him right now. So I say like a 1.
Yeah, I go 1. It's a draft class people drug through the mud. So if Zaccharie Risachier doesn't make it to a second contract, I don't think people would be talking about it.
What do y'all think this would do to his confidence if he were to be traded, since they are talking
I think it could help. I believe in a change of scenery. I think Zaccharie Risachier is going to be a good basketball player. I agree with KB. I never thought he was going to come in and be the face of the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
I do think he has the outline of being a really good shooting, catch and shoot 3-and-D type of wing with hopefully a little bit more here and there because he is only 20 or something years old. But let's make one thing clear, too. Zaccharie Risachier didn't ask to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
The Hawks made him that.
Yeah,
and
Alex Sarr asked not to be. So it was like, okay, next man up, I guess.
So I think that also carries him over into that situation. I think going somewhere kind of resets it. Nobody is no longer considering you that number 1 pick or having that target on your name. You just become a guy that's a young player, and there's so much going on in Atlanta. You got Jalen Johnson emerging. You got Nikhil killing. You got the Trae Young thing. You got the team struggling. There's so many moving pieces to that. Being able to go somewhere and have somebody want you.
Exactly.
Because if the Mavericks trade him, Anthony Davis, and get him, they're going to try to put him in position and give him the things he needs. And I just think that there's a big boost of confidence coming into a building where people, are trying to game plan to have you have success.
Yeah, the Hawks shifted their expectations. Like, they were trying to compete this season. So, maybe less touches for Zaccharie Risachier. His development is not as important to us right now because we bought in on Porzingis, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Jalen Johnson is so great. And if he does end up in the Mavericks trade with Anthony Davis, he goes to a team where, he legitimately will be priority number 2 in their rebuild, which is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't
priority number 2 for the last 2 months, because then the Mavericks will get a draft pick that will also, he'll be priority number 3 after that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Nemhard might be number 3, so who knows? But he'll still be prioritized.
Yeah.
Next guy is Cam Thomas. Contract year. It's a lot of pressure. I think.
I'm gonna give Cam Thomas like a 4, and it's a very simple thing. He's playing on a $4 million contract, $6 million contract, and they just asked him last night, how did he feel about coming off the bench with a team that Jaeger Dimmer didn't play, and I believe MPJ didn't play when I watched this game.
Yeah. No Terrence Mann, so they were down a lot of players.
3 guys, and he still comes off the bench. He said no comment. When we're still at this point and you're going into the offseason, they were trying to trade him. They said it wasn't a market for him. This is where you start to get a little worried. The best thing I think that has happened for him recently, I think Kevin Durant came out and said that scorers get taken for granted because we're so in love with defenders and connectors that there's still a certain appreciation that we should have for scorers. And I partly agree with Kevin Durant, but I do think we're at a game where you got to do a little bit more than just scoring. And it's easy for Kevin Durant to say he's the greatest scorer of all time. Cam Thomas ain't Kevin Durant. But yeah, when you're at this point, it could get ugly real fast, and it goes to betting on yourself to then.
Yeah, what's the scale again, Derek? 1 through 5?
1 through 5.
10.
I mean, Jordy Fernandez last night said that even though he came off the bench and gave them great scoring punch, he said, that's good. That's who he is, but that's the superpower. But I still want to see him be able to give us more effort on the defensive side of the ball and also show us more playmaking.
These were the things that Jacques Vaughn was saying. These are the things that Steve Nash was saying.
That's why, it's a 5 for sure. Because everybody knows he could put up points. Like, he could put up points with the best of them, but it's really just carving out a role. Because, again, on at least a contending team, he's just not going to be a number one to number. He's not going to be up there for a top option.
He needs a team to. Remember when the Jazz got Jordan Clarkson, and it was like, hey, when you out here as a 6-man, do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
He needs that, and he needs to accept that.
No, I think it's the last point because I think he kind of got that in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah, he does.
When he's on the court, they let him rock out offensively.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that it's Brooklyn and they're rebuilding. They don't want to commit a bunch of money to that.
And I don't think, based on those comments and based on the lack of defense and the lack of A-button, the reason I said it's a 10 is because, like you said, he's supposed to bet on himself, and part of that is kind of mold into what the teams want because you're auditioning for 29 other teams.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of his injury, first of all, and then coming off of that, having these type of moments, that he's failing the audition. He's not going to be out of the league guy, don't get me wrong. But like for a guy that wanted $25 to $30 million, he's failing that part of the audition.
Yeah.
So it's a 10. He got 4 months to figure that thing out so he can get the money that he wants.
I got a Nets rebuild I'm doing on YouTube. He did the exact opposite. He had a career year, and I had to trade him because he was giving us 25 a night on 40% three-point shooting. And I didn't plan on trading him, but like teams kept offering, and I went around the league, and so many people wanted Cam Thomas. And I'm like, wow.
Next guy I got is Jarus Walker.
Oh, my goodness.
I really don't even have anything to say.
I mean, I guess it. He looks like he's going to be the odd man, one of the odd men out when it comes to Indiana, which is fine, right? Everybody don't get to their first team and let that be their forever team. But he was one of my favorite players in that draft. I'm not a draft guru. I rarely watched him actually in college. It was more post the season. But he ain't really transitioned a lot of the stuff that I thought he would be able to the NBA.
I agree. I thought he was going to be like one of the more safer picks. I thought at bottom line you had a guy that was going to be able to defend multiple positions, be able to make sound reads on offense and occasionally hit some shots.
The hidden shots thing is the part that he's the best at this part of his career. It's the connecting part and the defense part that still struggle.
And I would have guessed the opposite.
Yeah.
I would have guessed that the defense would have been what he laid his hat on, and that the shot was something that you waiting to fully develop. The reason I don't really have anything to say is because it's like they're in a tough spot, and what's next for him? I don't even know what's next for him. Where does he go?
If you
He's
can't,
just a new team
it
type
feels
guy.
like this would be the perfect year to really hit that stride. And with Tyrese coming back next year, or whenever he does come back, they're going to try to get right back into the mix.
Yeah.
And like you're gonna lose your step.
He's a buy low second team guy, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. Next guy I got is Lu Dort.
Lou, man. He had a couple games where he's been hitting it well. So I guess maybe this is the turn of the page and he's about to get back into it. But
4. I'm going to go 4.
He is close to being one of the odd men out.
That's what I'm going to go for. Because it is very easy for OKC to replace you. And I think the league is going to be super committed to making him beat them. Why they didn't do this last year, I have no idea. Because Lu Dort is a guy for me personally, no shot at Lu Dort at all, but he is a guy that I'm always living with. When I got Shea to worry about, Shea, Chet, J-Dub, Lu Dort is always, I don't care if Lu Dort shot 47% from 3. He's just the guy we have to live with because these other guys are just that more lethal. And we've had some moments this season already where it's just, I don't know, man. The right series, OKC will replace you.
Yeah, it's a 5 because if OKC really sees any cracks in the armor, I feel like they can make that move because it only gets harder to win the second time, and they want to do it over and over again. So I could see them making a move if things start to look a little bit rough. So I'll go 5.
I don't think that they would do it this season. I think it would be more of an off-season thing if things don't go well.
Off-season for sure.
Yeah, I think they would probably sit up and wait and maybe see if he do catch fire by the playoffs. But if he don't, then we probably just end up moving on.
I think that contract is also dwindling down, which as a player is always kind of scary because sometimes it don't matter how you're doing. Like if you, as long as you're not like a face of the league, a face of the team or the guy, if your contract is at the near roads, that expiring and all of that, that really kind of puts you on the market in itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, because teams love an expiring contract.
Love an expiring contract. They love it.
Everybody want cap flexibility, but nobody actually uses it. Everybody just want to say they got it.
Yeah, it's just a convenience.
So many guys just sign those extensions.
Yeah.
So like free agency ain't what it used to be.